Brothers Shaker height spike is one of controlling the descent. They'd essentially drop the wrestler directly onto the crown of their head. The move—
that's probably almost one of the worst ones on here. You literally, it's literally no control, literally no protection. You literally just slamming the guy on his head. What type of fucking finisher is this?
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
What up, it's Ahmadjay back here to another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by Wrestle Mafia. The video is gonna be on the most dangerous WWE moves ever. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, the piledriver is really one. Another one to me, low-key, was the muscle buster by Samoa Joe. And what really kind of cemented that was, like, you know, Tyson Kidd getting hurt. Another one at heart to me, and I don't know why people were still doing it after, and I'm quoting Daniel Bryan on this, is the diving headbutt. After that situation that happened with you know, Chris Benoit, like, I don't know why people were still attempting to do this when they just had in knowledge of knowing that this move really caused, like, really bad, you know, neck injuries and, like, CTE. Yeah, it was so bad to the, like, point, like, they said Chris Benoit, by the time he died, had the brain of a fucking 85-year-old, and the guy was like 30-something. Still not excusing his heinous ass actions. Fuck that guy. But man, before we get into this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We are on the road to 900. If you guys like wrestling content and you like watching along and discussing, hey, I'm your guy. All right, let's just get into it.
From finishers that ended careers to submissions that could legit put you to sleep, these are the most dangerous WWE moves of all time, starting with the punt kick. In 2007, Randy Orton added a new move to his arsenal, and at first sight, the move looked simple. However, that simplicity was exactly what made this move dangerous. As there's no safe way to pull a kick like that, Orton had to actually connect the kick, which meant every single punt carried real concussion risk. Several performers like Triple H and Vince McMahon were reportedly left with concussions after taking it, and by 2012, WWE quietly banned Orton from using the move for years. Orton eventually got the punt unbanned, telling McMahon he'd figured out how to make it safer, and he's used it sparingly ever since. But while the punt is dangerous because of its pure impact,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the punt kick looked so fucking crazy when Triple H and Vince McMahon got hit with it. During that feud, it made it everything, and it added layers to that feud. But Jesus, man, it looked so like heinous when he just kicked McMahon into the side of the head. Yeah. There was like no much cover-ups or something. Maybe they could have put padding in Orton's like shin right there, but there was just kind of no kind of faking that shit though. You getting kicked to the side of the head, that's like automatic CTE. At least with the you know, the super kick, you can block that shit in every other kick, but you can't really block that.
Next move is dangerous for a completely different reason. Few moves in wrestling history look as unhinged as the Steiner screwdriver.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
Popularized by Scott Steiner in the early to mid-90s, the move starts like a normal vertical suplex. But instead of slamming his opponent down in the standard suplex position, Steiner would rotate his opponent, then drop straight down into a sit-out piledriver. In other words, he took one of the most dangerous moves in wrestling and added a several-foot free fall on top of it. The danger comes down to trust and timing. The wrestler taking the move has to lock their arms tightly around Steiner and keep their chin tucked into their chest the entire way down, because if their grip slips even slightly during that rotation, they can end up dumped directly onto the crown of their head.
Oh, hell no. That's not worth it. That's not worth it. I'll be saying you can't do that move on me. Fuck no. Bro, that's too much trust in a wrestler. Too much trust in a colleague. I wouldn't be able to do it. My life, I love my life too much. I love my life too much to just get paralyzed or something by that, bro. I mean, hey, a lot of wrestlers have like a lot of respect for Scott Steiner in, you know, in the wrestling aspect. They have like a lot of respect. So I guess go ahead on, but personally, I wouldn't be taking that. Let me know if you guys would take that move.
Steiner himself admitted that he used the move sparingly, saving it for opponents he trusted to hold on properly. Justin Credible has said he was paid a small bonus just to be the first person to take it in a WWF ring back in 1993. But if you thought the screwdriver was dangerous, the next move on our list takes the danger even higher.
Vertebrae? Oh, I remember this.
The vertebraker was invented by Japanese wrestler Megumi Kudo, who called it the Kudome Valentine, before Shane Helms popularized it in the US during his time in WCW under the name vertebraker. What makes this move uniquely dangerous is the total loss of control the opponent has over their own landing. The move has no cushion, no forward momentum to absorb. It's just a devastating drop where the opponent's neck and skull take on all the force. Because of that risk, the vertebraker has been banned and unbanned repeatedly over the years. Seth Rollins...
I think it should just be banned. That move looks too dangerous, bro. I'm not trying to be the hip hoppity guy that just, doesn't like, that was scold moves. I only scold moves that look fucking dangerous. That move looks hella dangerous.
Performed it at a live event in 2016, and it was pulled from use shortly after out of caution. Cody Rhodes later added a version of it to his own arsenal in AEW, and WWE has occasionally let him use it since. But while the vertebraker remains a move reserved for special occasions, the next move on our list was used in front of millions every week, while hiding a dangerous reputation that caused several injuries. AJ Styles built the Styles Clash into one of the most recognizable finishers in the entire wrestling industry.
Here he goes, he's setting, he hits it!
I'm sorry for him to not kind of botch this. You would have to literally not know how to take the move, or it would just literally have to be a freak ass accident, like with the guy, and I think the Pro Wrestling Gorilla. I don't know if that was it. The bald guy that broke his neck. I feel like that was just a freak ass accident, and some people that don't know how to take it. It was an example of James Ellsworth that didn't know how to take it, and he just I don't know. He had his chin tucked and almost literally broke his neck.
The setup looks almost gentle by wrestling standards. There's no towering suplex, no ropes involved, it's just a short drop that looks amazing. However, that short drop has broken more necks than almost any other finisher in modern wrestling. The move only works safely if the wrestler taking it does the opposite of every instinct trained into them. Normal bumps are taken by tucking the chin to...
Then again, he did break 2 necks with that.
...protect the head. The Styles Clash requires throwing the head back so it clears the mat entirely, letting the body flip through and land on the face instead of the crown of the skull. But if the receiver accidentally tucks their chin, the full weight of both bodies drives straight down through the top of the neck. The list of wrestlers hurt by it is long enough to ignore. Frankie Kazarian was injured taking it in the mid-2000s. Former WWE star Yoshitatsu suffered 2 broken bones in his own neck taking the same move in Japan, needing a halo brace fitted to his skull for months afterward. Roderick Strong suffered a neck injury from it and missed a month. British independent wrestler Lionheart tucked his chin taking the move from Styles and broke his neck in 2 places, while Styles had nailed the move flawlessly thousands of times throughout his run. But on the rare occasions the move went wrong, it came dangerously close to ending his opponent's career. Either way, Styles went on to become a multi-time world champion in WWE, despite the trail of injuries behind him, and the Clash remains one of the most well-known finishers ever. But while the Styles Clash...
Man, I didn't know it injured so many people, bro. I thought it was just a handful of rare occasions. I knew about the Yoshitatsu incident, and I knew about the bald guy. I'm sorry, I just saw his name, but I couldn't think of it again because I was watching the video. But damn, bro, shit, man. Hey, some finishers do not come without a bunch of injuries like this.
Proved how small the margin of error in wrestling could be. Our next move needed no error at all. Its danger came from decades of repeated trauma to the same part of the body.
Most hated move.
Chris Benoit's diving headbutt looked simple compared to almost everything else on this list. He'd climb to the top rope, spread his arms out like wings, and launch himself headfirst down onto his opponent. But while every other move on this list risks injuring the opponent, this one guaranteed repeated trauma to the person delivering it. Because Benoit didn't just use the move occasionally, it was one of his signature spots across a career that spanned more than 2 decades and roughly 1,000.
Oh my God. Bro, you literally just take a look at this and you just see the repeated head trauma. You diving from the cage. Just imagine you diving from the cage flat on the ground like that. You could say this nigga gave his body to wrestling, man. I mean, I guess people just love this with a passion, but the diving headbutt needs to automatically be banned in every promotion, bro.
Matches, and he layered it on top of an in-ring style that already leaned on headfirst bumps and unprotected chair shots. After the shocking tragedy of 2007, researchers studied his brain and found severe CTE caused by repeated head trauma. Doctors involved in the study compared the state of his brain to that of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient, despite Benoit being only 40 years old at the time of his death. This wasn't a case of one move going wrong in one night. It was the accumulation of thousands of impacts over an entire career. In the aftermath, WWE overhauled its wellness policy and banned unprotected chair shots to the head, and the diving headbutt itself all but disappeared from major wrestling, still occasionally used but treated now as a cautionary relic rather than a signature spot.
Yeah, like I said, bro, why is Chad Gable using this? You can only warn so many people at any times, but they just still want to just do it.
Some moves don't need a long history to earn a reputation. A single horrifying clip is enough. The Beverly Brothers Shaker Heights Spike is one of the most notorious
Shaker
tag
Heights
team
spikes.
finishers ever. Wayne Bloom and Mike Enos would set up an opponent for what looked like a spike piledriver, only instead of controlling the descent, they'd essentially drop the wrestler directly onto the crown of their head. The move was used almost exclusively on jobbers in early 90s squash matches, and footage of it has circulated for years, specifically because of how uncontrolled it looked, reportedly ending at least one wrestler's career on the spot.
Oh my
Marty
God. I think that's probably almost one of the worst ones on here. You literally, it's literally no control, literally no protection. You literally just slamming the guy on his head. What type of fucking finisher is this? Bro, I'm surprised nobody sued the damn company. And these were jobbers too. They're not with the company.
Jannetty's Rocker Dropper carries a similarly dark story. In late 1990, while teaming with Shawn Michaels as the Rockers, Jannetty hit the move on enhancement talent Chuck Austin and broke his neck. But it's not just moves from the 90s. Even modern wrestling has seen its fair share of dangerous moves going wrong. Seth Rollins' buckle bomb came under major scrutiny during 2016. Sting took the move at Night of Champions 2015 and absorbed the impact with his neck instead of his upper back. Finn suffered a shoulder injury from the same move at SummerSlam 2016 and had to vacate the Universal Championship the very next day. The reverse Frankensteiner carries a similar risk. While the move looks cool, it puts both the receiver and the performer at equal risk, with very little margin for error. A wrong landing can mean a head or neck injury for either wrestler involved. The Kimura lock, borrowed from mixed martial arts, can hyperextend or dislocate a shoulder in seconds if a wrestler doesn't tap in time. And the rear naked choke, while common in shoot fighting, carries real risk of an actual blood choke if it's cinched in too tight during a match, something that has occasionally left wrestlers fighting for consciousness rather than just selling it. Triple H's pedigree deserves a special mention not because it's inherently more dangerous than the others, but because of how badly it can go if the opponent doesn't know how to take it. The double underhook facebuster requires the recipient to go completely limp and trust their body to fall forward naturally. When that trust breaks down, as it famously did with enhancement wrestler Marty Garner in 1996, the result is one of the most brutal-looking botches in wrestling history.
And not to mention, like this was the early version of it where he actually had that shit hooked in. You can't like fall with grace. You literally just like had your arms hooked and nowhere to go. Thank God he had this variation, just like kind of made it better, but it still was a dangerous move that looked like.
But while all of these moves earned their reputations through isolated incidents, our next entry is different. It's a move so consistently dangerous that an entire promotion eventually banned it outright, and its most famous victim is one of the biggest stars the business has ever produced.
Spike piledriver.
No move on this list carries a heavier reputation than the piledriver in both its standard and tombstone forms. The basic version of a piledriver has a wrestler tuck their opponent's head between their legs, lift them upside down, and drop into a sitting position, driving the opponent's skull toward the mat. The tombstone variation, popularized by The Undertaker, is considered the safer cousin, since the attacker drops to both knees to cushion the landing rather than sitting straight down with full weight. But safer doesn't always mean safe, and both versions have produced some of wrestling's most infamous injuries. The piledriver's most notorious moment came at SummerSlam 1997, when Owen Hart faced Stone Cold Steve Austin for the Intercontinental Championship. Austin had actually pitched the finish himself, asking specifically for the Undertaker-style tombstone variation because he considered it safer. Owen, more comfortable with the standard sit-down version, assured Austin he wouldn't get hurt. When the moment came, Austin's head was positioned too low, and Owen's full weight drove Austin's skull directly into the mat. Austin was legitimately paralyzed for several seconds, unable to feel his arms or legs, and later said he thought he'd never walk again. Luckily, he managed to crawl over and weakly roll Owen up for the win, but the damage was done.
Honestly, yeah, the damage was done, but man, he was lucky to be able to walk again. This shit's serious, bro. Like, I mean, like I said, you have to put a lot of trust in your fellow wrestler, bro. Just like just like the stuff, the first one with Scott Steiner, bro. That move is crazy as hell. I would not trust him. I have a hard trust issues, especially with something that comes physical, bro. I get scared, nigga.
Austin was left with a bruised spinal cord and years of chronic neck problems that eventually required fusion surgery and forced his retirement in 2003. That single incident changed the entire trajectory of the move. WWE banned the piledriver outright around 2000, and for years only, The Undertaker and Kane were given special permission to use the tombstone version, largely because they'd both proven over years that they could execute it without incident. Wrestlers like Kevin Owens and Matt Riddle have occasionally been allowed to bring back variations of the move for a handful of high-profile moments, but the standard piledriver still remains forbidden. The lesson from Austin's injury has stuck for nearly 3 decades. Even a small margin of error can be the difference between a routine finisher and a career-ending injury.
Yeah.
But if the piledriver is dangerous, our next move was so devastating that even its own creator was afraid to use it more than a handful of times.
What is that? Burning hammer? Oh, okay.
The burning hammer might be the single most feared move in all of professional wrestling, and it comes with a unique origin story.
Cross is so.
Japanese legend Kenta Kobashi built the move, essentially an inverted Death Valley driver, by modifying a move created by women's wrestler Kyoko Inoue called the Victoria driver. Unlike a standard piledriver, which at least allows the attacker to control a straight drop, the burning hammer's fireman's carry setup means the opponent is released from a greater height with more rotation, leaving very little room for adjustment if something goes wrong mid-fall. Kobashi reportedly used the move only 7 times across his entire career, specifically because he understood how easily it could seriously hurt someone. Every one of those...
See, it's crazy. Even the inventor knows that it's crazy as hell, bro, to even use that move, bro. So he only pulled it out like a couple of crazy times, and I'm pretty sure he saved it for like, you know, like his best feuds, and I'm pretty sure he saved it for like the best people that he probably was wrestling.
7 matches ended in a win, since no opponent ever kicked out of it, which only added to its mythology. The last time he used it was in 2003 against his own protege Kenta, a moment treated with respect in Japanese wrestling as the passing of a torch. Since then, the burning hammer has drifted into a strange gray area. Wrestlers who have tried toned-down versions, including AJ Styles, tend to treat it with caution, and it remains something closer to an urban legend than a regular finisher. However, even with all the safety nets in...
Man, okay. I mean, that move is tolerable, but like... that honorable mention should have just been like one of the top ones, because it's essentially just not safe. It's essentially just dropping the guy on his head, and he said it was really pretty much done to jobbers. I'm surprised they didn't go through all of the damn like stuff to just, you know, like sue the company, bro. I would have sued the company. You literally just dropped me on my fucking head. They literally just pushed him up. And yeah, I said the second one before I even saw that, probably be the diving headbutt. Diving headbutt, like I said, literally like has the most dumbest. It's dumb to me. You're essentially just jumping and hitting your head on somebody, and like I said, I have a problem with Chad Gable using that. I know, like my opinion probably means nothing to the guy, but it's crazy. Why, after all these examples throughout the years of people getting concussions, especially Daniel Bryan, and the horrific like thing about Chris Benoit, you continue to use that move or want to use that move? I don't see the thing in using it. And the other thing, piledriver, we already knew about that one. And the sit out piledriver, yeah, it was dangerous. And the last one I'll probably say again is the thing Scott Steiner used. Hell nah, I can't trust him. I mean, would you guys trust him? Like I said, let me know what you guys think of this video, and let me know which one is really dangerous to you guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We are on the road to 900 subscribers, so if you want to be part of that, if you want to be a part of the growth, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, man. And I guess we gonna be out. I'll see you guys in the next wrestling video or the next video. Catch you guys later.
He was the best guy around. What about the people he murdered? What murder?